Hey everyone, welcome back to the Learn React in 10 Days course. So, this is going to be the day 2 of our Learn React in 10 Days course. So, in the day 1, I have covered about JSX. JSX is a really nice technology, or I can say a new technology, whatever we can say, created by the team at Facebook, and it's like a combination of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript together. So we are using the strength of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript together to take all of their strength and write our content. In day 2, we are going to talk about components and props. So we know how JSX works, how to write JSX. We are going to take that JSX knowledge to the next level by creating components and then passing props to those components. So I think let's get started with day 2. This is really going to be interesting, and I'm going to cover a lot of ground around components and props. Once you know how to create components by passing props, I think you'll become pro in React. So let's get started. Okay, so in the last video, if you remember, we have created this. This is the output. This is what we have created. We have created a small user avatar, and we actually went to the real world. We took the example of Instagram and we tried to create this component. I mean, I shouldn't use component term right now because you might not be knowing what is component. So I can say this avatar with a photograph and a text. This is what we have tried to create here using something called JSX. So if I come back to my code editor, you see here I have created an avatar JSX element. So how we write JSX, basically we wrap our multi-line JSX into these round brackets, and we are basically writing HTML, right? We are not doing anything special. We are basically writing HTML, and even we can write styles, the inline styles with that HTML. So I have used image and this div to create this avatar basically. So we know JSX, and JSX is really powerful for building content, and we build content to create web applications. But we need to take our JSX knowledge to the next level. Let me tell you why. So if I come back to Instagram again, you see here, right? We have one avatar, and the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one. So we have too many avatars here, right? Say suppose I want to replicate this similar kind of view inside my React app. So what do I need to do basically? I need to repeat this div, right? Multiple times. So say suppose I need to show three different avatars here. What I need to do basically, I need to repeat this div. I need to copy this image and div two more times. So I'm taking the example of three avatar only. And now if I save and if I go back to my application and refresh, I got three different avatars here. Not exactly this is what I'm trying to build here, but by writing some CSS, we can definitely build something like that. But if you look at here, right, what's wrong here, if you try to understand, I did copy this div from here and paste it here twice. And if you have been into programming, if you're writing computer programs for some times, and if you have become a good programmer, I think this is called duplicate code. If you're copying something in your code and pasting it again and again, that means you are duplicating your code. And duplicate code is bad in programming. So we need to come up with this limitation. See, JSX is not bad. JSX has provided its strength basically is that you can combine HTML, CSS, and JavaScript together. Now take this three different, take the JSX skills, and we need to take this JSX skills and we need to take it to the next level, right? So this copy and paste is bad. We know we generally don't copy and paste code in programming. So going back to the programming knowledge only, can you think of something which we use in programming? That's a very, very general term. Even if you're coming from any programming language background, maybe C, C++, JavaScript, Python, Java, whatever. Do you know the way where how we can avoid duplicate code in any of the programming language? And answer to that question basically, I mean, you think over it, you come back. So I can give you the answer to that. If somehow I can take this div, see what's repeating here, this div element with the image and div with name, right? This is what repeating here. If somehow I can take this div and put it into something which can be reusable, right? And how we can make things reusable in JavaScript? And there is a beautiful thing in JavaScript called functions, right? We can use functions. So somehow I need a way to write a function probably, and if that function can return this to me, something like this, don't you think it's going to be wonderful, right? I mean, then if I can write a function which is going to return me this JSX, you know that we can pass arguments to function. So I know what's changing inside this avatar is this image source and this name, right? So maybe I can pass that as an argument to the function. If I can do this, just imagine we're opening door into the world of reusability, making reusable code in terms of UI. And this is what we call a component in React. So basically we use function in React. We use functions to write components in React. That way, what you can do basically, if you come back here to Instagram, you can take this entire Instagram page and you can divide this entire page into small sections. Like this is a logo section, this is a search section, this is a navigation section, this is a story section, and this is might be a post section. So you can divide your entire page into small sections and pick up those sections one by one and create components out of it. So it's basically really simple, dividing something in front of you, maybe like how we divide a drawing, or maybe if I'm sitting on a table right now. So this table has so many elements. So this table has this laptop, this mic, this mouse, and I have a monitor too. I have some speakers, right? So I can, like, how I'm dividing my table, how my table is actually, my table has different things, I can say. So how I'm dividing my area into different elements. These are all components, right? You can take the same terminology, the real world terminology, and put it into programming, put it into React. So basically you need to take your user interface and you need to divide your user interface into small sections. And all of those sections, we're going to put it into function. And those functions are nothing but components in React. So I think this is a good time. I told you like what is the problem with JSX. There's no problem with, there's nothing bad with JSX actually. If I want to rephrase it, JSX is good. We just need to take our JSX knowledge to the next level, and that's what we are going to do in the next part. So I think I have given you the quick introduction about components. We are going to take a quick break again here and we'll come back and let's talk about components in React. Welcome back. So we know, like we were discussing just before taking a quick break, duplicate code is bad. I mean, we shouldn't write this duplicate JSX. That's not a good thing. And there is a very good design pattern or design principle, I would say, encapsulate what vary. I mean, if something which is going to change, we need to encapsulate it. So in our case, this user, right? This user is going to have a different picture and a different name, right? So this is which is going to vary, which is going to change. So why not encapsulate it? And one of the way of encapsulation in JavaScript or in React, I can say, is function, right? So we're going to see, so I'm going to give you a template actually, and that this template is going to help you in your journey of React coding. So you just need to follow this template and you're good to go. So we're going to learn like how to create reusable components in React. So I'm going to give you a template. I'm going to give you some steps which you're going to follow always, and you'll see that the component has been created for you. So these are the steps that you're going to follow for creating reusable components in React. So find the step one. Let's start with the step one first. So step one is find the duplicate JSX in your React code. So we know what is a duplicate code or duplicate JSX in our avatar JSX. So this one, right? This is repeating. I have repeated it 3 times. So this is a duplicate code. This is a repeating JSX in my code. I can say, so find a duplicate JSX in your code. Then you need to identify, or you need to find out a descriptive name to be given to that JSX. Yes, because we are going to take this JSX from here and we are going to put it into a function. So you need to give a name to that function. So in our case, I mean, if I want to make it easy, I think this is like a user, right? So we have a user image and we have a user name. So maybe we can call it a user component. So let's give it a name which is easy to understand, easy to identify, because writing code is one thing, but later on after a year or 6 months, you need to go into that code again to fix bugs probably, or to create another component from that previously created component. So you giving descriptive name to your variables, your functions, your components is really important. So step one, find duplicate JSX code in your React code. Identify a descriptive name to be given to that JSX. Then we are going to take that JSX. You need to create a new file and name it as per last step. So whatever name you have decided to give to your JSX, we are going to create a new file with the same name. So in this case, we are going to create a user file, right? User.js file. And yeah, so we are going to create a file and give it a name of user.js. Step 4, create a component with same name. And we'll see how to create a component in React. So it's basically function, like how you write plain old JavaScript function in React, in JavaScript. Similarly, we are going to create a function and we are going to call it a component. So create a component with the same name. Okay. And the last step is configure the component with props. And this step, we are not going to follow right now. We are going to follow first 1, 2, 3, 4 step, and later on we are going to see how we can configure our component with props. So this is going to get interesting, as we move on in this video. So I think this is the theory. These are the steps. This is the template that you're going to follow to create a reusable component React. Now let's see practically how can we create it, right? So to do that, so what we are going to do, basically we need to take this JSX, right? So I need this JSX which I'm going to use, and I'm going to create a new user component out of it. So let's do that. Before doing that, I think I need to create a new project, right? Because I'm not going to do it inside this JSX practice. I'm going to share these files over GitHub so that you can practice. So I'm going to create a new project. So let's create a new project and then we'll start working on it. So I'm going to go back to my Finder and I have this folder created. So I'm going to open this folder in terminal. Okay. And I'm going to use the command npx create react app, and I'm going to give it a name. So this is my second day actually. So day 2. So I'm going to give it a 02 as a name, and I'm going to call it components 02 components only, because we're going to talk about components and props. I'm not going to give it a name of components and props. I'm just going to give it a name of components. So let's create this project. I'm going to press enter. Now this is going to take some time, definitely, because create react app takes some time to create the project. And this is a step we are going to repeat so many times throughout the journey of this course. So I'm going to fast forward this and I'll come back and then we will start creating our first component in React. Okay, cool. So as you can see, React, create React app has created the project 02 components. I just need to move into that folder. So I'm going to cd into 02 dash components, cd 02 dash components. I'm into that folder and I just need to hit npm start. So I'm going to hit npm start. I think something else is already running on the port 3000. So I need to, first of all, let me come out a bit. And I think something is already running in my terminal. So let me see that. I have multiple windows running here, this one. So first of all, I need to break this. So I'm going to close this one, JSX practice one. I'm going to terminate it. And okay, so now I'm going to cd into 02 components. Oh, I'm already in that folder actually. So I just need to clear my console window. I'm going to hit npm start, and this is going to start the project. And you can see like this is a template which create React app provides with this animation, and they're telling like go and edit the app.js file to start coding in React. So I'm not going to do it, as we know, like I'm going to go back to my code editor and I'm going to open the folder. So basically we need to create this component, right? So just keep in mind, I'm going to take this JSX, which is repeating here, right? And I'm going to create a new component out of it. So first of all, I'm going to open that folder, which I have created just now, component, and I'm going to open it, and I'm going to remove, or I'm going to delete all the files here, right? I want to start from scratch. So I'm going to remove all of these files. I don't need it. So I've deleted all of those files, and I'm going to create a new file here called index.js, where I'm going to render my components. Okay, so I'm going to create all of my component inside this source. So let's follow the steps first, and let's understand how we can create components, and then I'm going to tell you like how we are going to render it. Okay, so let's go back to our template, and well, this is not going to work because I have removed everything now. So let's go back to our template and get started with step one. Find the duplicate JSX in your React code. So we know like we were trying to create that avatar multiple times, something like this. Okay, so let's try to create, let's take that duplicate code. So I'm going to write it down again. This will build up some muscle memory. This will give you good practice. So uh, just follow. I mean, this is really important. I mean, you write the codes so many times, it helps. It really helps. So I'm going to start from scratch. So I know I have a duplicate JSX which I need to take, right? So we had to duplicate JSX something like this. So I'm going to write it again, const, and previously it was like avatar, right? Inside my avatar. So I'm just going to write it down once again here just for the practice purpose. So we had a div. Okay, I'm not creating all the styles for now. We are going to see like how to style our components. So inside that div we had an image. So but I'm going to put that image into one more container. So I'm going to call it image, and I'm not going to give it any source for now. We'll come back to the source part later on, and I'm just going to give it all text of say user avatar. Okay, and I'm going to close this one for now. And the next one is I'm going to wrap into another div, and this will be our username. So I'm going to use hard-coded name of John Smith for now. So this is what we were repeating previously to create our three different avatars, right? But I don't want to do it. So the step one is take the duplicate JSX. So I'm going to take all of this duplicate JSX. Okay. Step one, and I'm going to put it into a function. So I'm going to create that function inside this index.js only for now, so to just follow the steps. So I'm going to create a function which is going to return the JSX, which I have written here, right? So I'm going to take it and put it here. So I just did Control C and Control V, and I have put the duplicate code, this duplicate code into a function. This is a step one, really easy step. Just need to take the duplicate JSX code, put it into a function. Let's come back. Step number two, identify a descriptive name to be given to that JSX. So you need to find out, you need to think, probably you need to go for a walk, and you need to give it a descriptive name. This name is really important. Think like this component is your baby, right? And once you name your baby, that name will be there for the lifetime, right? You can't change it after a year or 6 months. I mean, maybe you can change it, but changing baby's name is not a good way, I would say. So we need to give it a descriptive name. So I'm going to give this function name user, because this is my user. My user image and user name is going to come here. So I'm going to give it a name of user. Okay. So we are done with step two. Let's go to the step three. Create a new file and name it as per last step. Okay. So in the last step, we have given this function a name of user. Now I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to give it a name of same name, whatever I have given to the function. I'm repeating that, it's user.js. I've created a new file. And then it says create new file and name it as per last step. We did that, we already did that. Now we need to create a component with this. Okay, this is a descriptive name we have given. Create a new file and name it as per last step, that we have done. Now create a component with the same name. So we have already created a component with the same name because we have given a descriptive name. So we just need to take all of this code from here. So this is my component actually. So I'm going to cut it from here and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so this is my component. This is a separate file. This is a separate code for my user component. And we just need to do one thing. We need to import React from React here. And I'm going to tell you what is this important, how it works actually. We're going to talk about it. So just be with me for now. You just need to remember this. You need to write this import React from React here. Okay, I'm going to save it. So what we did, we took the duplicate code, this duplicate code. Okay, we have put it into the function. We have named that function. And we have taken that entire function and put it into a new file and give it a name of the similar name which we have given to the function. So this is how you create a component in React. Component is just like a reusable entity, a reusable code you have created. Now we are going to reuse this user component number of times in our index.js. So I'm going to remove this. I don't need it. We'll come back to index.js in some time. So this is how you create a component in React. So whenever you see any duplicate code, take that JSX, put it into the function, name that function, take entire code, put it into a new file, and that's your component. Now I have this user component created in a separate file, right? User.js. And somehow I need to bring this user.js code, this user code into index.js so that I can render it, right? So I need to use a React DOM actually, right? So import React DOM from React DOM, because I'm going to use something like this, React DOM dot render method. Okay. And inside that render method, I need to render my user, right? This user. But first of all, how to take this user from this separate file, this JSX from this separate file into my index.js? That is a question, right? How we can do that? So to do that, I think I have the nodes created for it. So I'm just going to switch to that screen. So we have user.js where we have that user function. We just need to export that user function. So exporting is like, giving a reference of that function, creating a reference of that function so that other files can use it, other files can import it. So this user function, I'm going to export, and later on my app or my index.js, whatever it is, app or index. So right now I'm using index actually. So maybe I can rename it to index.js, okay, index.js. So I can import this user using something called import. There is an export command or export keyword I'm going to use to export the user function. And there will be another keyword in JavaScript we call import user, and we have already used it. Okay, import user, I'm going to import it inside my index. Okay, so let's see like how we can do this. So I'm going to go back to my user.js, and first of all, I'm going to export it. These are the steps you're going to follow so many times while writing your React projects. So you just need to remember, I'm going to use default keyword. So export a default, and I'm just going to write user. So what I'm doing here, actually, I'm taking this user function and I'm exporting it so that it should be available to other people. And not other people, actually, it should be available in other files actually, so other developers can import into their files. So I'm going to import. Now the user component, the user function is completely created. I have exported it. Next step is how I can import it, right? So we have seen this, we have exported user. Now how to import it, and we have already seen this command, right? Import React. This is really similar. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to come back to my index. Now say suppose you want to take user from user file into index.js file. How we can do that? To do that, you just need to write import, like similarly how we have written import, and then give it a name of user, because the name of that function, you're going to use similar name whatever you have given here, not here. This is going to be same actually, but you need to use this name. Keep in mind, okay? And these names are actually going to be similar. Okay, so I'm importing user from where? From where you are actually importing that user. So you need to give a reference to that file from where you're importing that user. So you look at index.js. Index.js is inside a source folder, and user.js is also inside a source folder. So this path is really easy. You just need to write /, means you're looking into same folder where index.js is residing. Okay, so index.js is inside source folder, user.js is also inside source folder. So you're importing user from user. You don't need to write .js, okay? So how you're importing basically, so you have created a user function, you have exported it here, and you're importing the same user function inside your index.js by using the syntax. This is the structure. These are the steps we follow for importing our own functions. If you look at here, import React DOM from React DOM. I haven't created anything like React DOM inside my project. This is a third-party component. So React DOM has been given to us by React, and I'm asking React DOM, can you give me the React DOM object so that I can use a render function and I can render my user. Okay, so now we need to render our user. This beautiful JSX which we have created here, right? This source and this John Smith name, right? We need to take this user and we need to render it into our DOM. So how to do that? How I can, so if you look at here, this is a function, and how we call a function in JavaScript, we call a function in JavaScript something like this. But there is a catch. This is not a function. This is a component in React. By the way, it is function, but we call it, or React in a terminology, they call it component. So user is a component. And how we render component in React? Using HTML-like syntax, or I can say JSX syntax. So I'm just going to render like this. Getting my point? So instead of calling a function, this is, calling a function is this is a way of, this is a declarative way of creating something. Okay, because I'm declaring something here. So so whenever you want to create any component, you need to write it in a style of HTML or in the style of JSX. So this is how we write HTML tag. So I'm saying you take user component, and we just want to render it. So I'm going to use document.getElementById function. And I know I have an ID here, right? So if you go inside your public, there is an index.html file. So this is the file which is getting loaded and rendered into the browser. this index.html file. Okay, and inside this HTML file we have this root div. So I'm going to target this root div and I'm going to render. I think I don't need to use hash here. So I'm targeting that root div element and I'm saying, please render my user component. Now you will see the power of components in React. So we are taking we have taken our JSX to the next level. We have moved into component and we are rendering that component here instead of rendering the JSX, which we did in the last video, right? So I'm going to save it and I'm going to come back. Okay, let it ignore for some time. And now I'm going to refresh. And hopefully if we haven't have any error in the console, and I don't see any error. You see here, right? We got the user avatar and John Smith name here. Simple, right? This is beautiful, right? Now I'll show you the power. I'll show the power of components, right? I mean, instead of writing that entire JSX, I have moved that entire JSX into this user.js file and I have imported that and I have used it. Now I can wrap this entire JSX, I mean this user, something like this inside a div. Okay, and I can create multiple instances of it. Getting my point? Like it's like writing multiple h1 tags or multiple paragraph tags, right? It's similar to that, similar to HTML. Now if I save and if I come back, see that? I have 3 different avatars or a user avatar created on my screen. Can you see the beauty of it? And don't worry about this image. We are going to render this image in some time. You see the power of components? This is what I was saying. Now our user JSX, the duplicate code has been written once only. And I'm just importing that component here and I'm using it. So like how I have created user.js, I can create another component for this. Like how we are writing this div and user here. Instead of writing something like this, I'm going to show you a step where you can create a parent component which is holding all the users. Okay. So let's see. Again, we'll follow the same steps. We'll create. So this time I'm just changing the steps a bit. So I'm going to create a new component called app.js. Okay. And inside this app.js, I'm going to import my React. So this is really important. You always need to import React while creating component. Okay. I'm going to write a new function called app. Instead of writing a function, I'm going to use arrow syntax to create a function now. So this is a different way of writing functions. So how we have written here is okay. We can write function this way also. So I'm going to create app is equals to, this is also a function, but this is called arrow function in JavaScript. And here I'm going to return a JSX. And inside this app.js, now I'm going to import my user. Okay. So instead of importing in index.js, I'm importing my user inside app.js. I'm trying to create a hierarchy here. I'll tell you like how it is working. User from dot slash, and this is again in the same folder, so I don't need to give the folder name. Now I got the user in app and I'm going to create all my instances of user here. So I'm just going to create one instance for now. And again, I'm going to export my app. So I'm creating a different component called app component, which is taking user, which is having user, another component. So you can see parent-child relationship here. So app is a parent and user is a child. Okay, so I'm exporting app here. So this is how you're going to create component all the time. You're going to create a new file with a name. You're going to put some JSX inside it. You're going to export it. And later on, you're going to import it. So instead of using this user here, I don't need to use this user here now. I'm going to remove this also, this div, and I'm going to import my app here. So I'm going to import app from dot slash app. So now app is a component, okay, which I'm going to render here. So let me first of all render my app here. So app is a component which I'm rendering. If I go into the app is importing user component and it is creating a JSX with the user component, right? And I'm exporting app. So I'm just creating different components here. First I have created user, then I have used user inside app, and I'm importing that app here, and that app I'm rendering here. Okay. So I'm going to save, and if I go back to my browser and refresh again, see that it's working fine, no errors. Now we need to tackle this image part. So to tackle this image part, I'm going to use a third-party library called Faker. Okay, and don't worry, Faker is just like a React DOM, like how we are using React DOM here. Instead of React DOM, I'm going to use a third-party library called Faker. So first of all, we need to install Faker. So I'm going to come out of my code, and I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to install Faker. So I'm going to install npm install Faker. So it is going to take some time. Let's install it. Okay, so now you see like the Faker has been installed. This Faker library has been installed in our components project. I'm going to tell you a brief about Faker library. So Faker is a Faker.js. I'm going to search, and this is the link. So Faker is like a third-party library which is created for generate massive amount of fake data in browser and node.js. So I don't want to create all those username like John Smith, and I need some images, right, of users. So I'm not going to copy and paste different images, right? So I'm going to use this library which is going to give me that dummy data, that hard-coded data, I would say. So we can create usernames, we can create images, and there are a lot of things we can create. So I'm going to search for Faker. What are the different methods available to me? So you can fake data related to address. So like if you want to create different addresses, you don't need to write all those street name, city name, and state names, right? So you can fake animal data, and you can fake company data, you can fake database, you can fake data type, date, so a lot of things, right? So I'm going to use the feature called image because I want to fake the avatar image here. So I'm going to use this image. Okay, and this image I'm going to fake here. So I'm going to go back to my code editor and go to the user component because I want to replace this image with a fake image, this source part, right? So again, I want to use Faker, right? So Faker is written in different JavaScript file, and inside from that JavaScript file, I need to take that Faker code and I want to use it, right? And how we can take the code from other JavaScript file into our JavaScript file. So I've already told you the steps, right? If you come back here, okay, let me ignore it. This is how you think like user.js. That's my own file. Similarly, we have faker.js where we have faker object, and we want that faker object inside our user.js, right? So we are going to follow the similar steps, whatever given here. So I'm going to go back to my code editor and I'm going to import faker from faker. Got it? Really simple. Now I'm going to use this faker object to fake my images. So now this source, I'm going to write JavaScript. And how to write JavaScript in JSX? You need to use this curly brackets. I'm going to use faker. And then if I go back to my browser and how to use that image, so I need to call dot image. So I'm going to say dot image, and inside dot image. So think like it's object hierarchy. Okay. Faker is object, inside that image is object, and this avatar is a function. Okay, so I'm going to call that avatar function. See, it's written here, it's a method. So I'm just going to call that. Now if I save, so I already created that user inside my app component. And if I go back to my application, if I refresh, okay, I think I forgot to start my application because I've installed Faker, and after that I didn't start the application. So we need to npm start. So let's start the application again. And if now it is going to refresh, it should render that image. See that? So I'm getting all the dummy images, right? I don't know who is this person, but these are all the dummy images which is coming. Probably we can fake this name data also. Let me look at it, how we can fake the name data. Probably there should be a name, username, email, avatar, username. Probably let's try to use this internet.username to fake this name here. So I'm going to go back to user and let's try to fake this username. So I'm going to use again JavaScript because I'm writing JavaScript. Faker dot, I think it was inside what? Inside internet and username. Then to call that internet object. And inside that there is a username username function, which I'm going to save. And if I come back, see that? It's like we are going this direction, right? We are getting this username, the fake data from the faker library. Okay. And let's quickly do one thing. Let's try to duplicate this user. So let's create three different user object, because we were targeting to create something like this, like strip up users, right? Or a stories of different users. So this is what we're trying to achieve. Not exactly, but in that direction only we are moving. So I'm going to take this user and I'm going to create copy of this users. 1 second, third. So I've created three different users. And now if I go back to my browser, see that? I got three different users here. You see the power up components, right? So this is how we create component in React. We take the duplicate JSX, put it into a function, export that function, put that function into a new file, and use that, import that components using the syntax and reuse it as many times as we want. Now, one step which I was talking about while creating component using a template, there's a steps which we were following, right? Configure the component with props. Now we have all of our users created, and even we have fake the data of users here, right? And we are getting different user here. But I want to tell you, let me not fake this part for now. I'm going to remove it. So I'm just going to write John Smith here. Okay. And if I save and if I come back to my browser, you see that I'm getting different images because of faker. But this name, right? John Smith, John Smith, John Smith. So the next thing is we need to see how we can configure our component so that it can have different name. Maybe is there a way I can pass this name, because this is a function, right? Is it possible I can pass this name as an argument here? Is it a way I can pass this source as an argument here, or this alt text or anything else which is written inside this component? Is there a way I can pass it as argument, as a parameter, and then I can use that here? You can imagine, right? So you can create different users with different name and different images. So the next step we need to do is configure our component. The first step, we know how to create component in React. Next step is how to configure that component so that I can pass that name, that image as something like this. And we are going to see that in the next part of this video. So I think this video is this part is getting longer. Again, let's take a quick break. Let's have a breather here and think about it. Revise all the steps of creating component. Come back, and we're going to see how we can configure React component using something called props. Props. So quick break, and we'll get started again. Welcome back. So before I talk about props, or I would say a props system in React, let's have a quick recap about the current state of our project, right? The component hierarchy which I have created here, because understanding this component hierarchy is really going to help you understand the props system in React. So right now, if you look at in our application, we have an app component. We basically start from the index.js file. So we have an index.js file inside that. So if I come back to my code editor, you see here, right? I'm rendering app component inside my DOM, right? So app is like a container for my application, and app is nothing but shortcut for shorthand way of writing application. So instead of writing application, I've just created app. So app is like a container for our entire project, this small application. So you see here, right? I have created app. So app is a container, and that app has three different users. Okay. So user is a separate component. So if I come back to this visual diagram or representation, I would say, so we have an application app, which is a container, and inside that I have three different user component created, 1, 2, and 3. Three different users, right? And all of these users are same. If you look at here, basically you see the pictures are different. and those pictures are coming from the faker. That's why they're looking different. But in a real app, actually, when I go back to my user, this image is not going to get generated from the faker app, right? I'm going to load this image from database. I mean, the image URL basically. So that URL is going to be same for John Smith, right? That URL is going to be same for Sonia Mishra or any other example I would like to take here. So basically this is not going to be something like this. Maybe I remove it. This is going to be something like this, image slash John underscore Smith dot png or jpg, something like this. So now if I render this, it's going to render the similar component in the DOM all the time, John Smith, John Smith, John Smith, right? So I'm going to undo this. So because of faker, actually I'm getting different images here, but in a real app, we are not going to have different images. So this is the hierarchy we have. We have application, which is a container, which contains 3 different user, right? So now if I go back to my code, you see here, right? I have 1, 2, 3 different user. So this is the component hierarchy I have. But in real world, in real application, this user, right now this user has hard-coded image value. This user has hard-coded name of John Smith. In real world, this user is not going to be same. I'm not going to have 3 similar users, right? They're going to be different. So we need to move towards, we need to take our application towards, having different user values, right? So our application is going to contain 3 different user. In this example, we have 3, there can be many. So we are going to have different users. If you see here, right, this user I have highlighted in green color, this user I have highlighted in pink color, red color, and this user I have highlighted in black color, right? So we are going to have different user. So somehow we need a way to configure our user component. So we have a user component which I am reusing here inside my app. We need a way to configure this user component so that I can pass this source. I can pass this name value from outside. So I need a way of passing some kind of arguments to this function. And based on that arguments or parameters, this user is going to create the JSX. See, function is nothing but a small code or small machine, I can say, right, which takes input and it produces some kind of output. So we need a way to have this user to take some input, and based on that input is basically going to configure my user JSX, and it's going to return me different JSX each time based on the input values. So that's what we need to do it here. So first of all, we need to understand how to achieve it, right? So to achieve this, we have something called props system in React. So if I go here, I'm going to talk about props now. So props are nothing but, think like I'm a person, right? I have a name, I have a color, I have different props, like I'm wearing a cap here. I have different properties, I would say. So each and every person is going to have different properties, but the name of the property is going to be same, right? So I have a name, I have a job, right? But each person can have different name, each person can have different job. So these are all props, right? Props are nothing but values which we can configure. So props are name value pairs we pass from parent component to the child component. Now this is important, understanding this hierarchy from parent to child. So we generally pass these name value pairs, these props, from a parent component to the child component. So in our case, we are going to pass these values from parent component. Now in our case, the parent component is app, right? And now app is going to pass all these values, user related values, in our case name and that image source, right, which is going to create different users for us. Okay, so props are name value pairs we pass from parent component to child component. We use props values to configure the component. So now props are, think like, function is our component. Props are nothing but input we are giving to our component, and we're we are getting different output based on that input, right? So this is how it is going to happen. Now I'm going to pass some props to my user component from the app, from the parent component to the child component. And each time I'm going to pass different name, like first user is going to have name of John, second user is going to have name of Alex, third user is going to have name of Sonia. And that way I'm not going to have same user, like we have John Smith, John Smith, John Smith here. We're not going to have John Smith always. We're going to have different user, maybe John Smith, Alex, then Sonia, something like that. So let's see how we can pass these props, these name value pairs, to our component and receive those props. So to pass props to our component, we use this kind of syntax. This is again really simple. I mean, this will remind you the way we pass props to HTML elements. So our user, our component is nothing but it looks like an HTML element, right? So to pass the props values, we just need to use that syntax. So name of the prop, then equals to sign, and then the value of the prop. So in our case, each user is going to have different names. So I'm going to pass it a prop called name, and its value will be different. Like sometime it is John, sometime it is Alex, sometime it is Sonia, something like that. So name, value. So this is the syntax we are going to use to pass props to our component. And I'm going to show you that. So let's come back to our application now. Okay, so I'm going to use parent to child. So this is my parent app, and app is going to pass different arguments to different component, similar component, I can say. So I'm going to use, I'm going to target my first user component. I know the first user is going to have a name of, say, John. Okay, so you can see name equals to value. So first user is going to have a name of John. Now this is how we are going to pass props to our component. I'm going to pass second component name of, say, Alex, and I'm going to pass name of Sonia to my third component. So now if I save, you're not going to see any difference here in the application, basically, because I did only first step, right? I have just passed the props to my component user. Now how we are going to receive those props inside the user component? So here, this is a function, but this function gets a default argument in React. So this is a React word. So in case of JavaScript function, we don't get default values passed to the function. But in case of React, as this is a component, it gets something called props as an argument passed to this function user, any component. And I can log this props here, and we can see what values we are getting inside this props. So I'm going to save it, and I'll come back to my browser, and let's go to our console and see that. As I have three different users here, 1, 2, 3, and everyone is getting different name value, I'm getting three different output here because three different user 1, 2, 3 are getting rendered into the DOM, right? That's why I'm getting three different output here. First one has a name of John, second one has a name of Alex, third one has a name of Sonia. And what is this? This is just an object. An object, a JavaScript object with name and value pairs. Simple, right? And right now I'm just passing one prop to it, right? Which has a name of name, bit confusing, and value of John, right? Similar way, I can pass multiple props also. But first of all, let's understand how we can use these props inside the component, right? So now I know, like inside my user function, inside my user React component, I'm getting props passed, right? Now how can I use these props? And it's a really simple, how we use JavaScript in JSX. How we write JavaScript in JSX? We write JavaScript in JSX using curly brackets. And this props is nothing but JavaScript argument. So I can use this JavaScript argument props, and what's the name of property which I'm getting here? Is the name. All right, or just for the sake of understanding, let me change it to username. This will make it easy, right? Username. So now I'm passing username as prop. Okay, so props dot username. Let me remove this console, or I'm going to keep it for some time. Now if I save this, and now if I come back to my application, see that John, Alex, Sonia, I'm getting three different name. Now my component, the user component, has been configured to show different values, different name values. And pictures are already coming from the Faker library, but they're going to come from the server side in the real world application. And you see here, right? I'm getting username, username, username. This is how we pass props, name, value. And this is how we get the props inside a component. It's nothing but just a JavaScript object having name value pairs. And I can use those name value pairs to render my component in a different way. See, I have created a reusable JSX which can be configured to take different properties and return different JSX value. So this JSX is nothing but a template, right? HTML template. And props are nothing but the data which can be used to configure my HTML. Getting that? Now you must be thinking, can I pass only one argument or one prop to a component? And the answer is no. You can pass so many, several number of props, 100, 200, I don't know, any number of props you can pass to this component. So let's say, instead of using this source directly here, I'm going to pull Faker from here. So let me remove Faker from here, and I'm going to pass this source as a prop from the components. I'm going to keep this one now. I'm going to remove Faker from here. Let me import Faker here now. And now I'm going to pass second argument called URL to this user component, and that will be similar, right? Faker dot image dot avatar, what I have written here, right? So I'm just copying and pasting the same thing here. This is a function, right? And this is also going to get the same thing. So I'm going to pass URL is equals to faker dot image dot avatar. And let me do the same for the third one. URL is equals to faker dot image dot avatar. Okay. And if you see here, right, I have imported Faker from Faker. So I moved that import statement because I need Faker in the app component, not in the user component. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to use that particular props value here. So I'm going to refer props dot URL here. And now if I save this and if I come back, let me refresh it. So I think I got something. So I need to use Faker here. Okay, save. See that? Now I'm getting two different properties here, name value pair, username and URL. Right? Username, URL, username, URL. So you can pass different properties, something like this, name value pairs, to your component to configure in a different way. So you can pass 3 properties, 4 properties, any number of properties you want. Now because of Faker, we are getting different URL here, right? And I'm passing those URL. I'm using that as a props inside my component. So you see the beauty of component and props. So component is nothing but a reusable JSX, and props is something which is, adding flavor to it. Props is making that JSX beautiful, right? Props is helping that JSX render in a different way. That's how actually I'm getting different uses here, right? John, Alex, and Sonia. And forget about these images, right? So this is about component and props, and you can pass multiple props to your component. So I think so I think this is good time. Let's have a small short break here, and let's so we are targeting to create something like this, right? There's circles with the username. So let's come back and let's write some CSS for our user component, right? Let's make it that show it in a circular way, these images, and let's try to make this John font a bit different. So I'll tell you like how to write CSS, how to write CSS for the component in React. That's what we are going to see next. So let's have a quick break, come back, and we are going to see how to write CSS for our user component. Back. Let's see how we can make our component look better. So right now, this is what I want to achieve, the circle and username, something like this. So we don't have that circular image and this font, maybe we'll try to change this font. So we can make our HTML, we can make our content look beautiful using CSS. And how you can write CSS inside, we already know like how we can write CSS inside JSX using the style tag, but this time, I mean, that is in inline style, right? Writing something like this, that's inline style. This time I'm going to tell you like how you can write styles in an external file. And external file means you can create different CSS file for your component, right? So one component can have one CSS file or multiple CSS file, it depends. So how we can create component specific CSS file, we can import those CSS file inside our component, and that way we can render our component using external CSS. So external CSS, so obviously we need to create external CSS file. So let's first create the external CSS file. So I'm going to name it user.css. So basically this is a naming convention we follow while creating component. So my component name is user, right? Similarly, I'm going to create user.css file, and this is going to contain the CSS, entire CSS for my user component. Okay, so I've created a CSS file. Now how we can import it, or how we can have that CSS inside my component. And we use a similar thing like how we import different object, JavaScript object inside our component, we can import CSS also. So I'm just going to write import, and I know my CSS is inside the same folder. So I'm going to write /user.css. So this is how I import my CSS inside my component. So if I go back and refresh, you don't see any difference right now because I haven't written any CSS, right? So let's first of all create some class names here. So class name, and now this is important and I will tell you. So while writing HTML, we write class and then name of classes, right? Whatever is name of class, like this is user. Okay. But in React, or in JavaScript, I would say class is a reserved keyword, right? Class is a reserved keyword. That's how we write classes in JavaScript. That's why you cannot use class inside your JSX. So you basically cannot use all the reserved JavaScript word inside your JSX. So that's why we can't write class here. We need to write class name. So this is really important and you need to remember this. You just need to change class with a class name. I'm writing HTML only, right? Inside JSX. I told you JSX is nothing but taking the strength of HTML, CSS and JavaScript together, right? So I've written class name, and let me give it a name of class name of user. So probably I'll call it user, and I'm going to give this class name of say user dash dash image, and I'm going to give this class name of user dash dash name. Okay, so I've given some user-friendly class name, easy to remember. user dash dash image, and user dash dash name. Now I'm going to use these class names inside my user.css, which I have already imported here. So let's do that. So I'm going to use user. Now I'm writing CSS only. If you know CSS, then this will be real easy, because this is not a CSS course. So I'm not going to tell you everything about CSS. I'm just writing CSS. So let's test for now. Like maybe I'll try to change some color, try to add some color value here like red, and let's see if my CSS is working fine or not. So I have applied a color property to this entire div. And now if I come back, see that the font has been changed to red color. So I can see that my CSS is working fine. Now let's write some CSS for our user. So user is a container for this image and username. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to give it a display of, say, inline. I'm going to use inline flex. Okay. So now if I save and go back, see that they're coming in one line. And I'm going to use flex direction. Probably I'll give it a column. If I save, see that the name has came here. And I'm going to add some padding to my component. So let's say 10 pixel, save, see that? And so now my container looks good. I can say inline flex with flex direction of column and padding. My container looks good. I need to center align this text basically. So probably I can say align items center. And now if I save, that text has come in the middle. And now we need to target this image, right? So let me try to target this image and change it. So I have user dash dash image, and let me try to change the border radius of that image to maybe 100 pixel. Let's try this. Okay, I don't see any changes in the image. Maybe that is not applied. Probably, so I need to check in the style. Smaller basically. Okay, how can I make it bigger? Okay, so I don't see any style applied to it. Let me see user dash dash image. I'm trying to assign a border radius. Let me try to assign the border first. Border of say 2 pixels, solid, red. I'm just testing whether this is working or not. I see the border has been applied, but that image, okay, I got it. So basically, I'm I'm doing something wrong here. User image is a div component. I need to target this image basically. So I'm going to target that image. Inside that user image, I have image, and I'm just using the border radius. See that? So this is looking beautiful. So we, like, if I go like this, maybe, or maybe let's try to reduce the image size a bit. So I'm going to give it a width of say 30 pixel. Let's try this first. I'm going to save. Okay, this is looking much better. And these fonts are bigger actually. Maybe let's try to increase the image size to 40 pixel. And now if I save and come back, this is looking better. Now let's target this user name also. But before targeting this user name, I'm going to show you how we can use online fonts. So instead of downloading and copying and pasting fonts inside our project, we can use fonts from Google. So I'm going to search for Google Fonts. I'm going to go to Google Fonts. This is a site where you can go and use online fonts. And I'm going to use something related to Sans, Open Sans. Okay. So maybe this one. Okay, so I'm going to use this font for now. So whichever style, so we have different styles given here and you can decide which style you want. So probably I'll go with this 300. I'll go with this 400, and I will go with this 700. So this is a link which Google Font has generated. So I'm just going to copy this link from here. So I'm just going to copy this from here, Control C. And I'm going to come back and I want to use the online fonts, which is going to get downloaded into the browser while the application is running into the browser. So obviously how to link those fonts. So you need to go to your index.html file and link those fonts here. So I've just copied that link, right? I just need to paste that link here. So I'm going to just press enter here and paste it. So this is how we can use those fonts. And I have three different styles, 300, 400, 700. So now I have those fonts inside my HTML file. If I come back, I don't see any difference in my application because I haven't used the font. So to use the font, again, I'll go back to the browser and check here. So how to use this font? So probably they have given some kind of way how to use the font. The font name is Open Sans. So I just need to write this inside my CSS. So I'm going to use Open Sans font family. So I'll come back and I'll go to user. Basically, I need to go to user.css and I'm going to target my dot user dash dash name, right? It's user name CSS. And I'm going to use font family and give it a family of Open Sans. Now, if I save and come back, I don't see the changes actually. Maybe I did something wrong. Open Sans is a font dash family, and I'm using user dash dash name. That's a class name I have for my div. Okay, probably I need to restart my application. Let me do that. Font family user dash dash name dot user dash dash name. I don't see any typo. I have my fonts here. Let me try changing the size of the font. Maybe 15 pixel. Okay, I see the fonts also and I see the size also, right? So you see, right, how I can write CSS and how I can import CSS inside my component. So you just need to create a separate CSS file, write whatever CSS you want to write. So this is just a way of writing external CSS using the CSS technology. And you can import that CSS inside your component, something like this. And everything works like how it works in HTML and CSS world. So instead of writing that inline style, I'm using classes now, and all those classes are basically coming from the external CSS file. So now you know how to create a component. Now you know how to pass props to the component to configure that component to return different JSX, and you know how to write CSS. So I think you're good with writing component, configuring those component using props, and even making them beautiful using external CSS file. I think you have a good knowledge, right? So I think again, let's take a quick break here, and I'm going to cover one more topic around component and props, and that's how we can reuse the existing component inside other components. So that's coming up next. Let's have a quick break, and I'm going to cover that in the next part of the video. Welcome back. Now let's continue our journey of components and props. So we know how to create component now, and we know like how to create a reusable component. But now we are going to talk about how I can reuse the existing component inside another component. And I'm going to show you a very good real world case where this avatar or this user component which we have created with which has this image and this name. if I go back to Instagram and if I scroll down, we see like, okay, hold on. So we see like, if you look at here, right, this part, we have that image and we have that name here, right? And we have a follow button. And then we have this border around this component. So we clearly see the use case of reusing our existing user component for this card component, right? This looks like a follow card. I can name it as a follow card, right? Something which user can click and follow. So this is like a follow card for me. So let's try to recreate this follow card component, but we are going to reuse our existing user component. So think like a follow card is a wrapper for our user component. Okay, so let's quickly get back to my code editor and I'm going to create a new component here. I'm going to name it follow card.js. Okay. So I'm just going to name it follow card.js for now. And we are going to import React from React here, our usual practice. And I'm going to create a new component with the name of follow card for now, which is just going to return, I'm going to say a div with follow, something like this, follow card. And let's finally export the component, export default follow card. I'm going to save it and let's create the instance of this follow card inside app directly. So I'm going to use my app only. So inside my app, just after this user, I'm going to create the instance of follow card. So first of all, we need to import the follow card component, follow card from dot slash, because it is in the same folder. So I'm going to use follow card. And like how I have created user, you can create follow card component, something like this. So we usually follow the syntax of HTML here. I'm going to save it. And now if I come back to my application and refresh, see that I'm getting the text. Now somehow I would use this user inside my follow card. Okay, and I'm going to show you, right, how this is possible. You think like, you have seen chocolate, right? So think about the chocolate wrapper. So think this follow card is like a wrapper and this user, this component is like a chocolate inside that wrapper. So similar kind of thing I'm going to replicate here. So I can replace that chocolate with something else, maybe a small fruit, right? So that replacement is also possible. So think like follow card is a wrapper and this user is like a chocolate inside that wrapper. So that could be one of the real world analogy I can give it to you. Let's come back. So that's what I'm going to do here. So follow card is basically going to accept a user. So follow card is going to wrap around user and we can do that. I'll show you, like we can create something like this, like how we write a paragraph. You just think from the paragraph perspective. Paragraph is like a small component I can see, right? HTML component. And inside that I have written, hey, I am paragraph. So it has two different elements into it, right? This node, the parent node, and the text. Think from this analogy only. So follow card is nothing but this p tag. So my follow card, the actual component which has that text written inside it, follow card. And now inside this follow card, now this is interesting. Inside this follow card, I can pass text, right? But I can pass any other component as well. Getting my point? You can pass component, means you can create user inside your follow card component. You can give it a name of anything, like whatever name you want to give. So maybe we can use the example of what name I can say. Let me use any different name here, like Sachin, right? I'm using a name of Sachin and then I can give it a URL. Again, I'm going to use same faker dot image dot avatar function here. See that? This is similar, right? The follow card is like a p tag, but this follow card is my own component, my custom component I have created. And this hey, I'm paragraph is a text inside that paragraph. Similarly, I can pass my own components. You see the beauty? And like this is how I'm forming this, right? So this is my follow card. I didn't write any CSS for it right now, but we are going to write it. But I'm passing that user as a children to the follow card. Now the next part. We're passing user to the follow card, but how I'm going to get the user inside inside the follow card? And we know like we get props passed automatically by React when we create any component. So let's try to console log this props now. And let's see if we get something different in the console, something which we can use. So I'm going to come back to the browser and come back to the application basically and refresh. And now if you look at your console, see that we're getting children. Now this children property, I haven't created it. This is a props object, and inside that props object, you get this children. So what is meaning of this children? This children is actually, if I come back to the app, is this the user component. So React, so inside follow card, React is automatically passing a props argument, and inside that props argument, we have something called a children attribute or a name value pair. So this children is nothing but a symbol with a react.element. So this is a React element. This is a React JSX, I can say, the user JSX. Now I can use this children property and I can render it inside my follow card. How can I do that? So to do that, I'm just going to remove this text, or maybe I'll keep this text. And how to write JavaScript inside JSX? Because I'm going to write JavaScript, right? So we use double curly brackets, and I just need to write props dot, what was the property name? Children. So I'm taking all the children which is coming after this follow card inside this follow card, and I'm rendering it inside this div, and then I'm keeping my own content as well following that, right? This is really beautiful, right? We are getting props, we are getting children. I'm just using that children property and I'm rendering my own content as well. I'm going to save it. And if I come back, see that I got this user and this text, but somehow I'm not getting the name. So I need to see if I did any mistake while writing a name. So name equals to Sachin. Oh, I changed it to username. So let me change it to username. And now if I come back, you see that? So we have formed that similar component, the Instagram component. Now we just need to create this follow button, right? And then have this card like border, right? And let's do that. This is all a CSS part, right? And we can do that. So I'm going to go back to my follow card and I'm going to create a button here. Or maybe I'm going to create that button inside a div. So that will give that button a container, which later on I can style. So let's do this. Just keep the button here. Let's label it follow. And I'm going to give it a class name of maybe. So this is where I'm going to start. Basically, I will start with the parent first. Class name is equals to follow card. And here I'm going to use the same convention, follow card dash dash, and maybe a button container, maybe a button, something like that. So let's try to style this now. So if I go back now, I think I should be able to see something like this, right? I need to style the follow button, and I'll try to give it a border now. So let's create a separate style like how we created for the user. We have created user.css. Let's create a similar file for our follow card.s sorry css. Okay, I need to rename it basically. So I just did a typo. So forgot to add the follow card.css, and inside that I'm going to use all of these classes follow card. So dot follow card, and let's give it a border of say 1 pixel solid, and I think that's a gray color. I'm just giving it. Let's import that CSS. So how to use that CSS inside this component? You just need to import like how you have imported your other objects from the JavaScript file. I am importing entire CSS using this syntax. So this is follow card.css, and just put a semicolon. And now if I save and go back, see that? And something, so I need to see like why it is behaving like this. So I need to correct my CSS. So it's taking like entire space. So I can do that. I can give it a, probably I can give it a display property or something like that. So let's see what else we can do with the CSS. So I'm going to give it a border, a radius of say 9 pixel maybe. Let's try this. This is not better. I would say 3 pixel. This looks better. Let's try to give it a display flex maybe. Let's see how it goes. Okay, no display of flex. So probably I can write the CSS, but you're getting the idea like how I have created the entire wrapper around my user component. So this is how like you can reuse your component, right? So we can write the CSS for this, but I'll keep it I'm not going to write the CSS right now. I'll take some time and write the CSS later on. I want to show you something else where like, I think I need to go back to my app. Now I'm going to create another follow instance of follow card component. Okay. And inside that, instead of passing the user, I'm going to pass some text. Are you sure? Right. So I'm passing text instead of passing the user component. I'm passing text only. And now let's save this and see that. Are you sure? And then the follow button. So you can reuse your user component inside follow card. You can write text and ask for the question, like, are you sure you want to follow? So I'm reusing my existing component. I've created a follow card component, which is like a wrapper for other component. And how to create wrapper? It's really simple. You just need to use children property. So this is one of the way of, composing other component inside new component. So this is a pattern, a design pattern, or a design principle. I would say it's a design principle only. It's a very popular term in programming where we call composition. So you have seen the example of composition, like the example I have given about the chocolate wrapper, right? So this is a wrapper. This follow card is a wrapper, and inside that I'm wrapping the children, which is like a chocolate. So right now I can change that chocolate actually inside the wrapper. So I can pass user or I can pass a text, and dynamically it's rendering with a button. So you get the power of components, right? You get the power of how we can reuse component, how we can create our own component in this way. So this is one of the way of creating component. So I think you have a very good knowledge around components now, how to create component, how to configure your component using props, and even how to reuse your component using this composition pattern, right? Composing components around other components. Now take this knowledge, don't stop here. Take this knowledge, implement it by doing like how I do. I go to the real world application and try to replicate what already exists. That's a good way of practicing something. So probably you can go to Instagram, you go to YouTube, you go to other web applications and try to explore. Try to create your own component, try to configure them with props, try to reuse the existing component inside other component, and that's going to give you a lot of practice around creating component and configuring your component with props. So I think this video is, I'm going to stop here. This video was all about component props, how you can reuse your components. Now it's your turn to implement it, use it into practice. And I'm going to see you in the next video where we are going to talk about some other topic. So this is day 2 of React in-depth course of Learn React in 10 days course. I'm going to see you in the day 3. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. I think that will definitely motivate me or give me the energy to create more free videos like this. So I'm going to see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye and take care.